Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Kate Lotz, and I'm the Associate Director at KIC UnivAssist, and I'm here with Rohit and Jenny, and I'll let them introduce themselves, please.
Hi everyone, this is Rohit. I'm the Associate Director of Outreach at UnivAssist. Thank you for joining us this morning, evening, afternoon.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Jennifer Tassell. I am one of the counselors at the International School of Panama in Panama.
Great, thanks Rohit and Jenny. So we're going to just kind of give you a brief overview this morning of how you can take your own high school career fair virtual this year if you're interested in doing that. So, you know, obviously with the pandemic this year has brought new challenges for everyone, new challenges for schools and teachers and counselors, and also for universities who normally, you know, would travel to your schools to visit your students in person are not able to do it this year. You know, and when we look at all of the country level quarantines and the different government regulations and air travel regulations that are changing all the time, not to mention school management concerns of having people visit their schools. It's just created a lot of uncertainty, and nobody really knows when things are going to kind of return to normal. So, you know, but we still have that need collectively as a community to make sure that we're helping to keep the students focused and making sure that they're able to be equipped with the right information so that they can make the decision about their college career and kind of what might be the best fit for them and find out those options as they look forward to their future. So, you know, one of the solutions that we can look at is to take these type of things virtual. So if you normally host a career fair or a college university fair for your high school students for a larger number of universities, maybe 75 or so, you know, it might be a really good choice to go ahead and take that virtual for this year. But of course, you know, then the questions are, what platform should you use? What's the best technology for this type of an interaction? How can you find a platform that will work well and easily, you know, that is very user-friendly for students and parents and universities, but still be able to deliver value and the ability for people to interact, right? Because the point of a virtual event is not just to sort of gather information one way, right? It should be more of an interaction and more of a dialogue so that students can really ask questions just like they would at a college fair. And then of course on the day of the event, once you set everything up, how do you manage it? How do you manage all the technology, you know, and all the, of course, because you are also taking care of all the logistics and all of the communication and you're worried about your students and all of this stuff. And lastly, who's going to pay for it? So we know that these are concerns that you as counselors have. And we, as UnivAssist, are able to help you hold your career fair virtually this year. And so what we provide is an end-to-end solution for schools or groups of schools, probably if you're able to band together. Maybe you're part of a larger group of schools or some sort of consortium of schools, or maybe even if you're just able to band together with other schools in your city that normally do this, schools that you generally work with to host these type of events. And leveraging our WebiFairs platform, and hopefully some of you have been able to attend a WebiFair in the past, so you're kind of familiar with how it's a more interactive way, and Rohit will give us a demo here in a few minutes. We will be able to create a customized event on the WebiFairs platform just for you and your school partners. And we've conducted now 10 different WebiFairs, and so we have a lot of experience in sort of, you know, figuring out how to prepare everything and all the technology backend stuff. And so we can help set all this up for you. And most importantly, it can be done at no cost to the school. And I'm going to now turn it over to Jenny, who is a counselor at the International School of Panama. And she recently partnered with us to host her annual invitational college fair on the WebiFairs platform last week. So Jenny, if you could share just a little bit about your experience, that would be very useful to counselors.
I don't think it's possible to just share a little bit. I'm about as satisfied as you get as a customer in working with KIC, UnivAssist, and WebiFairs. So the Ocean to Ocean Fair is a fair that now this was our 4th year. And of course, we were always used to being in person. We'd have almost 100 universities come to Panama each year, and we'd kind of create this 3-day event of presentations and networking events with other counselors in the area leading up to the fair. And this year, of course, when COVID happened, my first instinct was to cancel it, which I did, even though we had probably about 60 or so universities already signed up. So I canceled it, but then once I heard about WebiFairs and I started talking to Suraj and Kate and learned about their platform, and I attended the Latin American fair they had, I was so impressed that we decided to push forward, even though we only had really a couple months, about almost a little over 2 months to plan it. So in the end, we ended up having around 86 universities. We had 2 days leading up of webinars, presentations. I think we had about 16 different webinars over 2 days leading up to the fair with the same presenters that were attending the fair. And I think the good thing was last year, the years prior, when setting the fair up, I had to, handle the logistics of renting the different tables and planning for the networking event and handling all the money, and all of that was a huge stressor. This year, I did not have to do that. The universities paid the platform directly, a great cost, and I initially was nervous about, having that cost, and I had approached the universities saying, is this how it usually goes? And they were very impressed with actually the cost of the platform. And so the universities didn't blink an eye about paying the cost of the platform. And we ended up having more universities than we thought we would get in a very short amount of time. They had signed up. And in the event, we wanted to replicate it as much as possible because, as the counselors in the fair, we're used to being in the middle of the room, kind of pushing the students that kind of gather in the middle to the different tables. So every crazy request that I had, literally Rohit and Kate, like within seconds, would say, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can do that. So we actually got to have a counselor room during the fair where students could come and ask the counselors. We had about 3 or 4 counselors during different time frames from the different schools around Panama in the room. So kids could come and see their counselor and say, I'm not sure about this school. Where do I find this school? Can you tell me about a major? And it was just so seamless. We never had one issue during the entire fair. And whenever we're live, there's always issues, but there was no issues. And I think the great thing too about the platform is what is created for college fairs. So it's very intuitive, super easy to use. And one of the things I liked about it is if you can see from the pictures on the screen, there's a page with the university's kind of virtual room where there's like the little widgets, I guess, from the universities. And in that section, it has like the most popular majors on the little widgets. So the kids can kind of pin it or unpin. They can go in prior and pin their top choice universities. But also I like that the students can use the search tool to search for the university by country or by name or by major area of study. And so that was super helpful when the kids were we're used to pulling out the book with the little charts and having to direct them. And I often would be in charge and my coworkers would be in charge of making that book, which was hours put into it. So that was just a really nice tool for the kids. I think they really appreciated that seamlessness. And also what I really liked is in the counselor room, we were, even though it's, which I like that the kids they type the messages. And so there's that, they don't have to be on screen. But for example, when we wanted to give a student an opportunity to see us and for us to see them, we could invite them into the room and then we could have that conversation with the kid and they could choose, which sometimes they did. They know I don't want to be on screen, or yes, I did. And when I was kind of popping into the other rooms, and I'm sure Rohit will go into more detail, I was able to see the reps interacting with the kids on screen, which they had the ability to choose if they wanted that or not. So I really liked, they've really just thought every single detail. And at the end of the fair, the reps were coming into the room and I had countless reps say this was the best college fair platform that they had used. And it was so seamless and so easy. And really, Kate and Rohit, they just held my hand through the whole process. And I liked that a lot of the communication was able to come from me, but with their support and telling how I should respond to this. And any technical question I had, I just forwarded it to Rohit because I was like, I'm not really sure how to answer that, but I know that they do. And they were very, very quick with responses. So there's not enough, I mean, I don't even have enough time in this presentation to share how happy I was with the experience and how highly I would recommend. And I'm happy to talk with any counselor who's interested in using them as a platform. And if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you, Jenny. We really appreciate that. And it was our pleasure working with you as well. And I think that, again, your perspective is really invaluable as a counselor, because a lot of counselors might be attending this thinking, oh, this might be maybe more, biting off more than I can chew to organize something like this. But we want people to understand that they can do it, And I remember I asked you right after the event, I said, was this, because you've organized so many in-person events, was this harder or easier than actually an in-person event? And you had said that it was actually easier because you only had to manage one side of it, and we take care of the technology.
It was. And Kate, I just wanted to add one thing that I think is a very common concern for counselors. We're concerned, I think, about the students getting inundated with college emails. And I know that I had students reach out, parents reach out, that they're always concerned in senior and junior year when they sign up for SAT or PSAT, and then all of a sudden those emails start piling in. I really liked that I got to be the driver of how that information was shared. So that was one thing I really appreciated, is that Rohit and Kate and Suraj, they asked me how I preferred that the universities got information on the students. And so we chose to share the information with only the universities of the rooms that the students entered. So they chose to then share that when they entered the room. And so I really like that. And so far, so good. So I appreciated that touch.
Thank you for adding that, Jenny. That's a really great point, especially as the more virtual events we all do, the more rightly concerned about data privacy that everybody gets. So we're absolutely happy to let the counselor kind of make those decisions and drive those. And yeah, this platform really is built for students, and the purpose is so they are able to really interact with universities. And as Jenny was saying, kind of on their own terms, they don't have to go on video, and they get to choose what events they want to go to. And, the next really point here is just to show you what it looks like. So I'll let Rohit sort of give you a brief overview and then a demo of what the platform really looks like.
Thank you, Kate. And thank you, Jenny, for sharing about your experience. I know, just like you, there are counselors at this webinar who probably are confused or concerned as to how to, replicate their in-person fair that they've been doing all this while onto a virtual platform. For the most part, I know a lot of them are probably looking at, meeting platforms like Zoom, for example, that we're using, but it doesn't really give them a real-time experience of typical fair, and that's where the WebiFair platform comes into picture. As Kate mentioned, it's a super user-friendly platform. The registration happens on the platform, so in order to access the fair, every student or every attendee will have to create their own login IDs and passwords. So that's something that the platform really offers. It's a web-based platform completely, so you do not have to download any software onto your computer. It can be accessed easily on a web browser. Every university they have their, and again, I'll just directly actually jump into the demo part of it so that I can run through some of these details. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing your screen, Kate, and just share mine. Awesome. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Super. So this is the landing page that we create on the technology for your fair. So ocean to ocean invitational college fair. This was their personalized landing page that was created. It's very simple. The whole idea of this is to give students the option of reading about a university and knowing what are the participating universities. So as soon as they click on learn more, they basically get like a short description about the university. They can take a virtual tour about of the university if they want to. But here's the page where they can browse all of these attending universities. And once they click on the register button, it opens a short form. And again, this form is customized. It can be customized based on your preference. These were what Jenny wanted us to put together. So name, email, some of the common questions. So they have their own account with their password, grade, current school, majors of interest, preferred destinations. So once they create this account, they are able to log in onto the platform, and this is how the platform looks like. Let me go to the universities tab first. That's again a location where you are able to see all the university individual rooms. So there's these popular programs for every institution that is mentioned here, as Jenny was saying, and then you can click on details. You can find more information, the same information pretty much that you saw on the landing page, but you can also see brochures over here if a university has uploaded one. So you will be able to see those brochures over here as well. And again, that's the search bar, which really helps them in searching for programs that they might be interested in. So if I search just for engineering, I'll be able to see engineering. And if I just search for Canada, I'll be able to see all the Canadian universities here. So pretty easy to use. And again, we put together some videos for students to view prior to the event, which gives them a fair sense of how to navigate the platform easily. And then here's the virtual lobby, where you're able to see all the individual university rooms. Excuse me, all the individual university rooms. We do have a technology help desk at all times during the event, where students or universities, if in case they're facing any technology issues, they can visit and let us know, and we help them out with that. This is the counseling help desk that Jenny was talking about, where students can actually go meet a counselor, ask questions, and take their help in if they want to figure out a university for themselves. And then they have the option of navigating through the platform and visiting any university of their choice. So I'm going to just go to University of Toronto, for example, and I'm getting this option because I am the admin on the system, but students will only be able to join as a viewer directly. So once a student joins, they will be joining under viewers, and they will be able to access the chat box. They will be able to access the brochures and also see the person while they are presenting. So if I just put myself as a presenter, this is exactly how they will get a request to accept a video or an audio call from a university. So once I click on accept, I now become the presenter in the room, and I'll be on audio and video. So that's all that it takes, like just a click to get on audio video conversation with the university directly, and then I can ask them any questions I want. One thing I quickly wanted to point out is that this is not a private chat. This audio and video conversation will be public, so all the other students who are there in the room will be privy to the conversations. The whole idea behind it is to replicate a typical school fair, where you have a university table and you have 10 students surrounding that table, listening into the conversation, and the university rep is speaking with one student, but all the others are just listening into the conversation, gaining some knowledge out of that. So that was the thought behind putting this together. But yeah, we do let students know about it beforehand. And then you have the logo, which directly takes you to whatever landing page the university wants to. Generally, it is the university's website that it takes to, but universities might want to take them to some video on YouTube that highlights the institution, so they can do that as well. And I've already talked about the brochure. So this is really what it is. I mean, as an institution, I can be on audio and video at all times. I can share my screen and show them a presentation, right? Students will be able to see that presentation just the way I am doing right now with you guys. So they'll be able to do that as well. So it's all there is. I mean, we've tried to keep it super simple, easy to navigate for students. And one of the reasons why we haven't seen technology issues, because it's very simple for students to understand. Students these days are anyways tech savvy, so we don't need to make them understand. They are the ones who kind of help us with some of these things. But yeah, this is all there is. So I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen so that we can go to the next slide on the presentation. And I know there was a question that popped up, and we'll take these questions after we're done with the presentation.
Yep, great. Can you see my PowerPoint again?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the sort of the collaborative setup of this, Rohit? How it really works?
Sure. So again, these events are your events, controlled totally by you. We come as the logistic and technology partners for you for the event. So it is a collaborative setup. We're helping you with the technology. We're helping you set up the event online. We're helping you with the training and orientation sessions with your participating universities. We're putting together videos for your students to watch and be prepared for the event and navigate the platform. So anything and everything related to the technology front will be taking care of that completely, and helping you at every step. But this is really your event. You're the ones who are going to drive the event in terms of what universities you want to invite, how do you want to do these outreach, defining the time and schedule of the event, doing outreach to your students or other schools that you might want to collaborate with for the event. Then promoting the event to students, to parents, and getting the attendance for the event based on the universities that are participating. So anything related to outreach, promotions, attendance at the event, defining the flow of the schedule, timing, anything about that will be done by you. And again, we do get together multiple times actually, and Jenny would acknowledge that we've probably gotten together multiple times just to touch base on some of these things and make sure that things are in control, and they're all set up for us to do the next steps. So
which are
yeah.
Go ahead,
so you want to, okay. So the next steps really involve us knowing the date of the event, the expected number of participating universities, what are the timing of the event, and the estimated number of attendees, users, or these can be students, parents, put together, so that we can start working on a proposal for you and start putting together the event on the back end. So just the way you saw, we had a dedicated page for Ocean to Ocean Fair. We will be putting together similar dedicated landing page for your event as well. And then we do advise schools to at least give it about a month and a half or two between finalizing with us and the event, because that gives schools enough time do their outreach to universities and invite them over at the event, and for us to set up these university profiles, university rooms on the back end for the event.
Great. So there have been a couple questions which I answered already through the chat, but if anybody has any other questions about anything we've covered, or if you want to ask Jenny anything about her experience, please feel free to type that in the question box here, and we'll be happy to answer. Yeah. But overall, I think I can speak for Rohit and say that we really enjoyed working with Jenny. It was really great to kind of be able to provide this option to the students in her school. So that was great. Okay, great.
And I see.
I also just shared my email. So if anyone wants to reach out or has questions, I have to jump off because I have another meeting. But if anyone wants to reach out and ask questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jenny.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Okay, we'll be around if in case you have any questions, and minimum and max. I do see there's a question.
How many schools at a time will we entertain at a WebiFair? Sunny, do you mean high schools or universities? So with universities, we recommend that just from a cost efficiency perspective, if you can have 75 universities or more that you expect to participate. So if you normally host a college fair with 75 universities or more, that's kind of the range that we're looking for. And in terms of high schools, there's not, Rohit, maybe you can advise, but there's not a particular limit that we're looking for. We do recommend that you band together with a group of schools, so it makes it a sort of a big enough student population that the universities will really want to come and be really attracted to that. Rohit, would you have any other?
Yeah, so typically, and I see that there's a follow-up question, any minimum expectation of participants from the school. Sunny, it would depend on the number of universities. Typically, for 75 to 100 universities, I would suggest the attendance to be anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000, and so that it's worthwhile for everybody, for you in terms of setting up the event, but also for universities who are attending the event and are able to meet with multiple students, share about their institution. So yeah, that's the ideal benchmark that I would say 1,000 to 2,000 for about 75 institutions. Yeah.
So I see Sunny had asked another question. If you don't normally work with a group of schools and you're not quite sure how to do that, if we can club you with any group of schools, we will certainly keep our ears open for that. I don't think I know of any so far, but we do recommend that, just from kind of an ease of working together perspective, because you will be needing to work with the other sort of co-host schools quite closely on all of this. We would recommend that it be somebody that you sort of normally work with or that you know. And if you're not part of a group of schools necessarily, like if you're not part of a consortium or anything like that, even if there are, like what Jenny does is, she's not, the school that she works for is not like a big conglomerate of schools. She just works with all the other schools sort of in the region of Panama where she is. So just the 17 others, or the 16 other schools, I guess there were 17 total, that sort of normally all work together in Panama. They're not related in the same company or anything, but that's another option. So you can just reach out to other schools that are maybe in your city or your area to see if they would be interested in doing something like this, if you normally have ever worked with them hosting events. in the past. Hopefully that helps. Yes, and we will keep that in mind, Sunny. Great. Well, if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. I'm typing in the email address here. You can reach us at info@univassist.com, and Jenny put in her email address as well in case you want to ask her any, counselor perspective questions. She's happy to touch base with you on that. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this was helpful, and if we can help you host your virtual career fair this year, then please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to give you a more fleshed out proposal and set up a meeting with you to answer any questions and see what we can do to help your school and your students this year. So thank you very much. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kate. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.